Oh, good morning. I'm feeling all chipper this morning. Wow, that's a change. I'm gonna wait for people. Oh, y'all are already here. Hey, Kayla. Why? Why do I have a Wi-Fi bar all of a sudden? Well, now it went away. Did you see that? There he goes. Why do I have a Wi-Fi with one little tick and then I've got a full Wi-Fi signal on my computer? You can tell me later. That's something new. I've never seen that before. I don't know what that's about. I guess StreamYard has updated, I don't know, their little website or something. Good morning, Heidi. Happy birthday. Jane, you're well, happy anniversary and birthday. And Stephanie, congratulations on having a little grandbaby girl. That sounds fun. If she's as cute as your Knox, I can't imagine what this baby's going to look like. She's going to be a beauty star. And I'm sorry, I'm perky this morning. Lawanda, I was going to tell you this. I don't know how true it is, but if you put your YouTube on your main screen when you post, Facebook will not show it to very many people. But if you notice, like all the creators, they put their link in the comments and not in the post. It's supposed to be better. I don't know if it's true or not, but I just know that like Lester and Jason and all the big channels, they taught me to do that. So I saw that you were posting your link in the primary comments, and I wanted to give you that advice. Let's see who else is here. Every time I see, where's their name? Angel Brewster, I think that I went to high school with you because I went to high school with an Angel Brewster. And I keep thinking you're the girl I went to high school with. But then when I go out there and look, I'm like, no, she didn't. That's not her. So I get confused. Good morning, Diane. I worked with the Sherry White. So I think you're Sherry White that I worked with, but she spelt it with a Y. Oh, good morning, Becky. Oh, goodness. I'm trying to read comments. Y'all are so sweet. Now I got too many comments to read them. They're coming in too fast. Okay, y'all are going to pass out on the floor, but I'm not on the struggle bus this morning. I have no idea why, because I did not sleep last night. So I should be exhausted and tired, but I didn't sleep because I was sweating because I had this dream. If you don't follow my personal page, I don't mind you following my personal page. I'm not as active on my personal page, but let's see. This is on Facebook. I don't have YouTube on my personal page, but this is me. But anyway, I posted on my personal page. I got in a fist fight with a snake yesterday that was about as long as my dadgum body. It was huge. And so what happened was I get this confidence that I can handle this snake on my own. In the past, I have been able. The first time I ever saw a snake in my chicken coop, I flipped out. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. And I called Shane and said, you got to come home from work because I had baby turkeys in there. And the snake was going after the baby turkeys. And I was screaming bloody murder. And Shane was like, Judy, I can't get off work to come and handle the snake. You're going to have to learn to do this. I'm like, oh my God. So in the past, that was like 4 or 5 years ago. In the past couple of times, I don't know, let's say 5 or 6 times, I've had snakes in my coop. I don't freak out anymore. I mean, I get the ibby jibbies, but I don't freak out anymore. Like I handle it well. And so I saw this freaking huge snake in my chicken coop. So I went and got the hoe. I think that's what it's called. And I was just trying to make it sit still until I called Shane, because Shane can pick them up. And so, hey, that joker was on the tractor, and I'm blowing up his phone going, dude, there is a snake as long as my body in the chicken coop. And he won't answer the phone. So I'm literally sitting in the chicken coop with the hoe, making the snake stay. And I am, my hair is wringing wet. I'm soaking wet, and this snake's going. So obviously I'm frustrating it. And I had to sit there for like 30 minutes waiting for Shane to get off the flipping tractor to get this snake. Well, finally, after like 30 minutes, he gets off the tractor. And listen, he's a snake wrangler. He goes in there like he is somebody, like superhero. And he just grabs the snake by the head and picks it up and takes it off. And I'm like, he's like, Judy, you're going to have to learn how to pick up a snake. I'm like, Joker, I don't care how many years I've been a chicken farmer. I will never. That is one thing. Like, I can overcome the tractor. I can overcome getting on the skid steer. But this joker right here ain't ever. I have zero desire to be hero woman and pick up a snake. I will never do it. I don't care. I don't have a desire. Never, ever, ever in my life will I do that. It's going to be a hot day. And today, I'm cleaning out chicken coops. Yeah, because I have so many. I've already cleaned out a couple. I decided, instead of going with water today, that I don't know what I'm going to call it, I'm drinking a protein shake with creamer. It's like protein shake, and then you splash creamer in. Y'all know I'm a big fat lie, right? If you're new to me, my drinks are hideous. I'm drinking coffee with creamer, but I'm calling it a protein shake because it sounds better. It sounds like I'm healthy. So I say that I'm drinking a protein shake with a splash of creamer. Speaking of protein shake. Okay, so I said this in my live yesterday with Haley, but you know how Wednesday I talked about, like, my personality is all or none. That's how I am. I'm either all in or not at all. Like, I'm either drinking 400. Okay, not 400. I'm drinking like 5 Coke Zeros a day, or I'm not drinking any at all. And I told you that I had to work on balance. And so I've been detoxed with Coke Zero. I think I've gone 2 months. I don't know. It may not be 2 months. I'm just going to say 2 months. I think I've been 2 months without Coke Zero. So I have slowly tried to introduce myself to a soft drink every now and then, because I'm trying to learn not to go overboard and not to go completely without, to go somewhere in the middle. So I wasn't even craving a Coke Zero. I'm craving the Sunkissed Peach. So I broke down and popped open a can of Sunkissed Peach and drank it. And I was like, this tastes terrible. And I'm like, why does it taste terrible? And I was like, oh my gosh, now it's like my taste buds are different because water's so pure, I guess. And it tasted so nasty. I was so mad. I did finish it. I think I finished all of it. Maybe not all of it. But I was like, I'd rather have water. This tastes terrible. So that was like Thursday or Friday, I guess. And so last night, Shane and I were sitting outside, and I said, okay, I'm going to try to drink a Dr. Pepper Zero. I'm going to try to drink it and see if I like it. He goes, Judy, you're so weird. Like, why do you do that? I'm like, I'm trying to create balance in my life. And he was like, okay, whatever. So I go get the Dr. Pepper Zero, and it did taste decent. And I drank it. So I have had 2 in the past couple of days because I'm trying to create that balance. But anyway, I am going to have my Celtic salt. I know that some of y'all have ordered it. You're supposed to put it on your tongue and let it dissolve. I just rather crunch it, but I feel like I have a dip in. I feel like I'm trying to, be like that. Okay. Can't decide, since I'm cleaning out chicken coops, do I really want to put on makeup? Because I'm probably going to have to come in and take a shower. I have a story. So this is what happens with me. Is when a situation, let me get this Celtic salt out of my mouth. Ugh. Hey, if you're craving a potato chip, go get you some Celtic salt and you'll be over it. That salty flavor, you'll be over it quick. So during the week, when I go through a situation that I have to break down or I can use as a learning tool for y'all, what I do is I go to my notes on my phone and I type a little bit of what happened so that I remember the situation and what happened. And so sometimes when it's time to talk about it, I totally forget the details of the situation. And I'm trying to recall the whole situation. And I'm trying to figure out how to talk about it so that we can take a learning tool. Because, situations that I go through might not mimic exactly what you go through. But somehow, some way, it can, like, as I talk about the problem, I'm hoping that it'll spark a problem that you have been through over the past couple of weeks. And hopefully together we can go, okay, I had the same type issue. And hopefully together we can break down the issue and fix us. That's what my soul desire is, for us to relate to each other and go, you're not alone. I go through the same things you go through. It might be different, but together we can hold each other's hand to learn how to get in our own lane, learn how to break things down to see the big picture of what someone's trying to tell us, because they choose the most terrible words to say what they're trying to, because they don't know how they feel. And so it's important for us to break things down so that we don't obsess about a problem, or we don't go, he said, she said, like they do everything wrong and we do nothing. It is important for us to look at ourselves and go, what is your ownership in this problem? That's what you have to figure out. You can't figure out how to change him or her, because you can't. You got to figure out what your ownership is and what that joker is trying to tell you. They're just using the wrong words. That's where you stay on your own lane and you can fix you and how you approach situations so that you don't trigger your spouse or so forth. That is what I hope to accomplish. And this whole, like, going live, talking about mental health, talking about real problems is a way for me to give back. My farm is nonprofit. And I try to look for ways to spread cheer, to spread goodness, to help others. And sometimes, I get sideways and go, ain't nobody listening to me. I'm just running my trap and ain't nobody listening. Why am I even doing this? Like, I should get on here and talk like other creators about my farm instead of talking about topics that people don't talk about, But then I'm like, no, God just keeps holding my hand and going, no, Judy, I need you to go down this path. I need you to stick with it. And I keep coming back. But a lot of times there's self-doubt in my head because sometimes it's embarrassing to talk about the things that I talk about sometimes. It's embarrassing to me. It can be embarrassing to my family. It's when you put yourself out there and talk about real problems, it opens the door for a lot of negative, a lot of judgment. And I'll tell you, I don't know if you feel me on this, but sometimes when you say, I fight depression, I have anxiety, I have addiction, I have a mental illness. When you put yourself out there because you want to tell your story and you set the platform, a lot of people use that as ammunition. So if you get in an argument with someone, they're like, oh, she's mental. Oh, she's on medication. Oh, she has been in addiction before. She's probably using it. It's like everything you do, people sometimes when you put yourself out there, they use that to come after you. So like say that me and someone got into an argument, okay? So many times people that I've opened up to will use, oh, she's extreme. Oh, she's mental. Oh, she's got depression. Here she goes again. Like they like to do that to me. Have my whole life. And that's when you have to be, as a human being, you have to know who you are. You have to stand firm and know who you are when people begin to attack you for things that you've said. When you say, I'm a recovering addict. I've been 5 years clean and I'm doing great. And let's just say your parents are in paranoia. Say you come and I don't know, you look like you're sleepy. Why are you sniffing? And then the person that's in addiction that's recovered is like, oh, she's trying to say that I'm snorting, or I got one bruise on my arm and she's accusing me of shooting up. Like that's what I'm talking about. It's like when you say, hey, I've been in active addiction before, and then something happens, people begin to judge you about your past. And they think that you're always, so when that happens, you have to stand firm on the ground. And if in your heart you're innocent, and in your heart you're on the right path, you can't worry about that judgment. And that's hard sometimes. That is hard. I get a lot. My doctor's name is Dr. Hennick. And I get, you need to call Dr. Hennick. I get that a lot. As if I'm the one jacked up and there's no jacking up on other people's side. You need to call Dr. Hennick. Oh, really, Joker? Okay. You ain't done nothing wrong. It's all me. Imagine that. Through my life, I've gotten that because people know that I go to counseling. And so I get labeled as crazy because I go to counseling. I'm like, no, Joker, you need to go to counseling. You need to call Dr. Hennig, not me. But I want to tell you about this situation that occurred this weekend, and I hope I can remember the whole story. All right. Y'all know that. Let me say this real quick. I'm getting my furniture for the education center tomorrow, and I'm so excited I can't stand it. I'm so excited. Anyway, okay, so this is regarding me and Shane, and it was over the education center. So I'm going to show you how we have to break this down. Shane and I both, we worked the entire weekend in the education center. I think this happened on Thursday. So Thursday prior, but we've been working on the education center consistently for a while now. Okay. So there's this pile of junk, not anything worth anything, in the education center that is Shane's. Shane said to me a while back, he said, I can't move this stuff out of the education center until I build my lean-to on my shop. He still has one little section that he has to build on the education center. And I said, okay, I understand. So I was at acceptance with this stuff is going to be in the education center for a minute. So I kind of poked at him a little bit and I said, I want to have open house for my education center. So is this going to be done by fall? Probably not, Judy. I'm like, dang, okay. And then I poked at him. This was like weeks ago. And then I said, do you think the education center will be open by spring? Maybe, but maybe not. Judy, slow down, slow down. So I have this anticipation. I'm like, I can feel it. I can see it. I want it to put it together. I have saved so much money to put into this education center in hopes to make a difference in people's life. And as I'm putting it together, things are changing in my head. Okay, let me tell you what I'm talking about. I'm not going to get ready. This is what it's going to be like today. So as I dump a lot of money into my education center, and over the past month, I've dumped a lot of money into this education center. You see me, I haven't got any grants. You see me at libraries, field trips. I am busting my butt to save every dime I can for this education center. Now, being a nonprofit, most nonprofits depend on donations and grants. I've tried. If I tried to survive off donations, I wouldn't make it. If I tried to survive off grants, I ain't gonna make it. I've realized when it comes to a grant, you try to hire people for because if I try to write, you have to be educated. You can't, not just anybody can go out there and write a grant. You have to go to school. You have to be educated because everything has to be written perfectly. And in the past, I get all these people, hey, I'll help you with the grant. I'll help you with the grant. I'll help you. I'll do it. You don't have to pay me anything. And they get all gung-ho and then they go away. And I'm like, no, I need to pay you to do. I'm not, this volunteer crap doesn't work. People want to volunteer and they don't follow through. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing this no more, because probably about 10 people I have sat down with about grant writing and they just disappear. So grants don't work for me. Donations, I can't live off donations. So the only thing left is for me to bust my hump. Okay? It's the only thing, that's the only way Sneed's Farmhouse is staying in business, is because I bust my hump. I have to do, it's considered fundraising. I have to do birthday parties. I have to open my farm to tours. I have to go into schools. I have to go into libraries, and I have to do all these things to fundraise so that I can build my education center, because I have a vision. I can't depend on grants and donations alone. That's why you see nonprofits go out of business. When you see like rescues, for example, that depend on donations, they ain't gonna make it. You have to bust your hump just to get people to donate. And then if I started going, please donate to my farm, I'm wanting to build this education center, I would get attacked. All she does is beg for money. I ain't watching her no more. She begs to have, she has all these elaborate coops, and all she does is beg for money so she can have nice things. That's what y'all know. Y'all are, you're on social media enough to know if I started doing that, people would attack me. I would go under attack. So I told Shane, I said, forget it. I'm gonna bust my butt to get where I'm going. I ain't gonna ask for a dime. I'm gonna bust my butt because I know where I'm going. I know this farm was created by God. I know the vision and the passion behind this farm, and I'm gonna bust my butt to get where I'm going. And I have. Over the past 2 years, I've killed myself to get to where I'm going. But I can see this vision. But as I begin to put this education center together and dump thousands, not hundreds, thousands of dollars into this education center, I feel scared. I feel as though, in my past experience with having the public go to my bathroom in my house and go to my farm, no one respects my farm. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Not everyone respects my farm. When I first started, and I didn't have a porta potty because I couldn't afford a porta potty, I was letting people come into my house. Y'all should have seen what my bathroom looked like by the end of the day. There was pee in the floor. There was like dirt everywhere, doo-doo in my toilet. And I was like, this ain't working. No one respects that you're in my house using the bathroom aimed to the middle, or it became a nightmare. And then I had this event. Hang on. One time I had this event at my farm. It was a big event. I actually talked about it in my YouTube video a couple of times ago. I had this big event, and we had probably 500 people at this event. Well, I was busy interacting, with people, talking to make sure and everything. And I closed my farm to the public. There were people, kids, like trying to throw rocks at my animals through the fence, and parents weren't even watching their kids. And I was like, this ain't working. Like, no one respects my animals and my farm and my bathroom. And I've had that experience since I've opened. And so many times I'm like, I'm not opening to the public no more. And when I sat down with Jason and Brooke, the day that I met them, they were like, what are your goals? I said, I want to close my farm to the public. I want to make enough money off social media that I can close my doors. And they were like, how much money do you need to close your doors? And we sat and talked about my budget. And I was like, I need to bust my butt on social media to get a following so I can close this farm. You should see what my bathroom looks like. Kids are throwing rocks at my animals. Like, this is not working. This is not working. And as time has gone on, I don't make enough money on social media to be able to close my farm. But as time has gone on, April was a year when Jason and Brooke at Cog Hill Farm and I had that conversation. It was a year in April. And I do not feel like God wants me to close the doors. I do not. There's too much healing going on in my farm. So I got to figure out how to do things. So as I'm building this education center, dumping thousands of dollars into this education center, I sit here and think about what my bathroom looked like. And I'm like, if anybody destroyed this education center, I would have a heart attack. And like, people are texting me and going, hey, I want to have a birthday party in December. Do you have an indoor facility? And I'm like, well, I have an education center that I'm in the process of building. Well, my rabbits are in there. I have baby chicks in there. Can't you see this being a disaster? Parents are dealing with talking amongst each other, and the kids are out running around my education center, and the parents are not watching their kids. And then they open the brooder, and my baby chicks come out, and they're throwing rocks at my rabbits. Like, I see a complete disaster. So I'm sitting here as I'm dumping all this money into the education center. I'm having this feeling that this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. And I've taken the word sanctuary out of my farm name because I've been beat up about the word sanctuary. And as I build this education center, I see a sanctuary in there. I don't see field trips in there. This is what I see. I see group homes. I see sober living facilities. I haven't talked about this, but I've been asked by a sober living, like, first of all, let me explain something. When it comes to sober living facilities, I can't film that. I can't take pictures. I have to be careful what I say because of privacy. So, like, I can't really tell you the healing that's going on in my farm because it's privacy. This is especially when domestic violence shelters come to my farm. I can't film that. I mean, these women, these men that are beating these women, I have to keep that all under the table so you don't see all that happens on my farm. You see field trips and parents, but you don't see what I see. So I sit here, and as I'm putting this education center in and spending all this money, I have been asked to hold a meeting for parents that kids are in active addiction. And this was presented to me a while back. And I said to the leader, I said, I don't know if I'm strong enough to hold this meeting because I'm afraid I'll get too involved. I'm afraid that I will try to start healing all these parents and I won't stay in my own lane. I'm afraid that I'll just not be able to sleep worrying about Susie Joe and her son being in jail, and me trying to hold her and go, it's going to be okay. Like, that's what I worry about. So I haven't done it. But as I sit there and put this education center together, I see sanctuary. I don't see a bunch of field trip kids coming in my education center. I see this a sanctuary and a place for healing. I see me holding group homes by the hand, teaching them how to take care of my rabbits, how to take care of baby chicks, how to clean and sweep and all these things. That's what I see. And I see parents that are hurting coming into, they're sitting in here once a week in a circle going, I'm dying inside. My baby girl is on drugs. I see that. I see it a place of refuge. I do not see field trips in there, but in my brain, I'm like, okay, but Judy, if you do all this and don't make a dime, how are you going to pay for it? How is this coming together? How, like I'm going to be broke. How do I get, and the only thing I know to do is to continue the field trips and stuff like that, because I can't afford just to do it off donations and grants. So I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen in this education center. I don't know if it's going to be education. I see sanctuary. I feel like, this is what I feel like. I feel like the word sanctuary had to come off social media because people put sanctuary and animals together and go rescue. And then the fact that I do rescue animals, but people don't understand. And it causes confusion on social media. So I had to take out the word sanctuary, but I feel like God's putting that word back into my farm. I do. I feel like he's creating this sanctuary for rescue and refuge. I feel like I can see these parents in a circle talking about their struggles. And I say, okay, let's get away from the struggles for just a minute and let's go out to the farm. I want you to make a connection to one of my animals. I want you to go love and make friends with one of my animals. And I promise you, when they get out there and start loving on Leroy and kissing Leroy, they forget that their child is in an addiction. And if I can just get their mind off that for 30 minutes, you wouldn't believe the healing that happens. Because when you're a parent and your child is in active addiction, it is on your mind trying to figure out how to fix them. 24/7. You're at work trying to type, doing work, answering phones or whatever, and your brain is in, oh my God, if someone would just tell me how much it costs to fix my child, I'll pay it. If you tell me what rehab to put them in, I'll put them in that and I'll figure out how to pay for it. I'll go get a loan or put a second mortgage on my house. I just want my child healed. That's what I see. That's what I see. So getting at my story, I'm ready. I'm a trigger. I want it to happen now. And so as Shane's stuff is in my education center and he's not giving me any answers as to when I can open it, when I can have a grand opening, Kayla and I moved because Shane's stuff was all over the place. So I said, Kayla, let's move everything to one corner and get it out of the way so that I can start putting together what I can do. So I did. I stuck it all in one corner. So as I was sitting there looking at this stuff that was in the education center, he told me that he couldn't move this stuff until the lean-to was built. So I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, okay, this is wood. This is a toolbox. This is traps. This is some kind of tubing. Like, I'm looking around. I'm like, why does he need to build a lean-to for all this crap? Ain't none of this going in a lean-to. Like, the thing that the thing that's going in the lean-to is the truck that's in the middle of the education. So I'm looking at all this crap, and I'm like, Kayla, he is full of, you know what? None of this is going in a lean-to. So this, I think it was Thursday. No, it was Friday. I said, Shane, listen, this weekend, can you and I go through this stuff that's in the education center, and can we figure out where this is going? And he flipped the flip out. Okay. He flipped out on me, and he began to go, all you think about is yourself, what I can do for you. I have spent all my time putting up this tent, putting up this shiplap, and all you can think about is you. And I was like, who pissed in your cornflakes? Like, what? I got so mad when he said all that. I when he was yelling at me saying that, because I feel like that was not true, I stood up and went outside, and I started messaging Kayla. I said, let me tell you what this joker just said to me. He gets on my nerves. I can't stand him. The word hate was in my head because, you know, I go to one extreme. I'm like, I love him, I hate him. And I was in hate. I was in total hate. He is terrible. He's a train wreck. He don't use the right wording. He is awful, Kayla. He is absolutely the worst. I was there. So I was out there filling up waters and just trying to release frustration out there in my farm. And Kayla was there for me, and I appreciate her. And here comes that little joker walking across my farm. I'm like, I can't stand him. So I'm rolling the hose in. He goes, let me do that. I'm like, no, I'm doing the hose. Judy, let me have the hose. No, I'm doing it. He goes, let me have the hose. And he was like, I want you to listen to me. So he's putting the hose up. And he goes, why do you think that I took off work for a solid week and spent the entire week cutting your wood, knocking down trees, cutting your wood, and then bringing it to the education center, and me spending the whole week putting up your wall? I do that for you. I don't do that for me. I do that for you. And I'm listening. I'm like, so he goes into this spiel, what he's doing for me. And I said, you are so ugly with what you say. You choose, because I didn't say this, but in the middle of him telling me that it's all about me and he can't do his stuff because he's doing my stuff, and he used terrible language while he was saying that to me. It was terrible. It was a train wreck. I mean, there were cuss words. It was terrible. So after he says his spiel, while he's putting the water hose up on the thing, I said, well, let me talk for just a minute. Your choice of words that you say are god awful. And when you start saying bad words to me, I shut down. So if you want me to open up my ears and listen to you, you better choose better language, because you are so disrespectful to me. He said, I'm sorry that I said bad words. I'm like, you straight up sorry. Sorry as heck. Yep, you're sorry. So I was sitting there. He went away, and he was very kind, and he told me he was sorry. And he went away, and I said, I need to break this down. What is he trying to tell me? And what am I saying to him? So we'll start off with my part. What do I need from Shane? What does Shane need from me? What is happening? Why are we yelling at each other about, I do this? Because this is what, I don't know if you and your spouse do this, but this is what we do. I'll say, well, how do you think your food got in this house? How do you think your laundry got done? How does all of a sudden when you run out of deodorant appears in your bathroom? Do I do anything? Do I get any credit for what I do? And then Shane goes, well, baby, I do this, I do that. Oh, yeah, well, I do this. You know what I'm talking about, that fight where you're kind of going back, trying to defend yourself? Like he said to me, I'm doing everything for you, and you don't even say thank you. Well, Joker, I do everything for you. I cook. How does your supper get on the table every night? How does Shane has a hole in his shirt. I go buy clothes for him. They just appear in your closet. It's not Sally, the cleaning lady. It's me. It's me that's putting those clothes that are bought for you to look decent at work. It's not Sally. It's me, just to let you know. So we're going back. And I said, stop, Judy. Shane, you need to go away so I can break this down. So I go out my farm, and I was thinking in my head, what is happening? Like, what is happening? Shane and I love each other. Why are we at each other's throats? Why are we going back and forth telling each other what we do? And I said, what do I need from Shane? And I said, I need Shane to notice what I do. Like when I'm out here every flipping day, busting humps, sweating bullets, having to freaking change clothes because I'm soaking wet and got chicken poop up to here, and I'm doing field trips, and I'm trying to cook supper, and I'm trying to go to the grocery store. I'm trying to deal with Larry. I just need him to notice. That's what I need. And I thought about it, and I'm like, why am I depending on Shane for my happiness? Why am I needing reassurance from Shane that I'm doing a good job? Why am I depending on him to notice everything that I'm doing? What is it that's causing this feeling inside me? He's unappreciative. He never says he's sorry. He doesn't even notice what I do. He thinks I just flip and sit on the couch all day long. Like, what is this? And I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about what I was needing: appreciation. I was needing him to tell me I'm doing a good job. Like, that's what I was needing. And I realized that Shane is needing the same thing that I need. Shane is needing me to go, Shane, thank you for taking off work for a week, cutting that wood so I didn't have to pay for it, spending days, weeks, putting up that tin and that wood is gorgeous in my education center. Thanks. But what happened was when I said to him, hey, Shane, this weekend, can we go through this stuff in the education center and put it somewhere? I triggered him that I just keep wanting and wanting and wanting. That I totally triggered him. And I sat him down Saturday night. I said, Shane, I think I figured this out. And he said, what? And I said, me and you kill ourselves 7 days a week in this farm, in this house. We don't have a day off to be together as husband and wife. It is like hit the floor running 7 days a week, constant, building this, improving this, putting tile, I mean, we are 90 to nothing. And I don't think that we have slowed down enough to work on our marriage. We're too busy building, fixing, doing. Like, that's what happens. When Shane takes off from work, his time spending with me is putting up wood with me standing in there. That's what, if I take off, that means I have to go see Larry. It ain't spending time with Shane. I need to go see my children, or I need to go to see Larry, or I need to go whatever. That's what our days off look like. And I realized that Shane and I were both needing each other to notice what we're doing. So I was like, sit down. Sit down. Thank you. So I began to say, thank you for using your vacation on my education center. And I'm sorry that I am impatient and want your out of my education center. Okay. I'm sorry that if you don't move this crap out in the next day, that it's going to be sitting in the front yard. I'm sorry that that's fixing to happen. I'm just kidding. I didn't say that. I'm like, you're fixing to get an eviction notice. You're going to have 2 days to get this out of my education center. I'm going to flip my lid and I'm going to start using bad language. I'm kidding. But I just needed to show him appreciation. And you know how I told you that Shane and I are not on the same page when it comes to showing love. My showing, like him showing me love, I need him to say, hey, baby, go take a shower and get your nicest clothes on. We fixed to go on a hot date. That's what I need, and it don't happen. Shane, he accepts love, not through any of that. He feels love when I go, tonight when you get home, you're going to have butter beans and cornbread and onions. And I've gone to the grocery store and I'm fixing you I've even got you a dessert, buddy. You're going to have homemade apple pies. Like, that's how Shane receives love, is me doing that. I never do that to him. I don't call him on the phone and go, hey, let me tell you what your wife's doing. She's got an apron on around her waist and she's in here whipping up this meal for you because you've been working all day and you had to get up at 5 o'clock this morning, and I'm going to fill up your belly. That's what he needs from me, and I never do that. And I need for him to go, hey, honey, I got the best woman in the whole wide world. Get your clothes on. We're fixing to go on a hot day. We're going to the movies. He don't do that. We're too busy going 90 to nothing in this farm. And we're not slowing down enough. So that's what caused me to trigger him when I said, hey, can you get your out of my education center? That's what he heard. That is not what I said, but that's what he heard. He needed, in that moment, he needed appreciation. He needed me to go, Shane, when I walk in that education center, that freaking wall is drop dead gorgeous. You did, buddy. You rocked that wall. It makes the education center. Oh my gosh, Shane. And to think that you cut down that wood with that sawmill and sawed all that wood, and then your big old muscles went over there putting all that up on the wall. That's what Shane did. And I didn't give him that. And you see how when you don't give each other what you need, you get all out of balance and you get all jacked up, and then you say things you don't mean, and it gets you all, it's just terrible. But you have got to, when you when you're with your spouse or a friend or your sister or whatever it is that you're having that argument with, you're going to have to take a step back and go, okay, what's my ownership in this? Why? I can't get my needs met from Shane. I can't get my needs met from Judy. You're not. You're not. Because we're human. And if you depend on a human being for your happiness, you're going to be let down. You're going to be let down. There's no way Shane can meet all these needs that Judy has. And there's no way Shane or Judy can meet all these needs that Shane has. So what do you do? What do you do? I think what you do is you break it down. And you go back to what my dad taught me years ago when I was going through counseling with my husband, Robbie. And our marriage was a train wreck. He goes, Judy, you should wake up and figure out how to make your spouse happy every single day. And I'm like, do you know what he does to me? Are you kidding me? There is this, let me see if I have it. There is this book. It's called Love Dare. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's a book about couples that are on the edge of a divorce. And instead of her wanting him to meet all her needs, she took it was a he. He took one simple task for his wife every single day. I can't remember for how many days. I want to say it was 30 days. So like, for example, one morning he got up and made her a cup of coffee. Instead of her making it, he made it. And they were on the edge of a divorce. The second day, I think he wrote her a love letter and put it in her lunchbox. He did something for her every single day, and it saved their marriage. So I think about what my dad said about you should do something to make your spouse happy every single day. And see, we're too busy needing our needs met that we forget about our spouse or our sister or our brother. We forget about meeting other people's needs because we're so hungry for our needs to get met. That's what we're hungry for. I'm not doing crap for him because he has terrible language towards me. I'm not doing crap for him because he is or she is all about herself. All she cares about is getting her nails done and her hair done, and she don't ever put me first. We're too busy wanting our needs to be met, and we don't meet their needs. And that Love Dare book, if your marriage is rocky, I encourage you to go get Love Dare. But I'm afraid you're going to go, well, I just gave him a cup of coffee for a day and he wasn't appreciative. I'm not doing it no more. I'm not doing crap for him. I've been doing this for 2 weeks and he don't care. Okay. In life, no matter what you're doing, even social media, let's just talk about that. When you try 100% for a month and it don't work, you give up, that's why your social media ain't growing, because you just gave up. When you're trying to focus on your marriage and you're trying for a month and you're like, forget it, he's a train wreck. This marriage ain't ever going to get better. I'm just going to live in it and be unhappy the rest of my life. You gave up. You gave up. Sometimes it may take 2 weeks. Sometimes it takes a month. Sometimes it takes freaking years. But keep doing what you're doing. Quit needing. How do you get your needs met? So if you're giving, and you're not getting anything in return, how do you keep going? You keep showing up. Keep showing up. And I'm going to tell you what I do is I do a lot of meditation. I do a lot of prayers and ask God to give me that happiness that I need and that wholeness, so I don't depend on Shane for needing reassurance constantly, because it's an insecurity. When I'm needing Shane to tell me how great and wonderful I am, and sometimes, you know how I told you that, like, I kid with Shane about, like, I'll say, hey, I bought you a present today, and this is what I need you to do. I need you to flip the flip out and just go crazy like it's the best present in the world. I need you to go out to the front yard and do donuts or back handsprings or something, like you're so excited. That's what I need from you. And he's like, we just laugh about it because that's what I need when he opens the present. I need this big reaction. He's like, Judy, it's a flipping screw. Okay, but I need you to just go crazy, like jump up in the bed and go, oh my God, Judy, you're the best wife in the whole wide world. Oh my God. That's what I need. I need him to do what I do, because that's what I do when I open a present. Shane ain't like that. He goes, thank you. And I'm like, that's it. So I say to him, I'll say, listen, I'm feeling real needy right now. You've got 30 minutes to tell me how great and wonderful I am. What a great wife. You got 30 minutes to sit down and tell me everything that's great about me. And he will die. We will sit there and die laughing. He's like, oh Lord, here we go. Judy's needing this reassurance. I'm like, 30 minutes, Shane. You got 30 minutes to just tell me how great and wonderful I am. When I make a joke out of what I'm needing, it ends up being hilarious, because when I realize what I'm needing, it's so not normal, right? It's not normal for your spouse to go to the front yard and start doing cartwheels because you gave them this little big gift. That's silly, right? So when I start making a joke about what I need, I recognize the silliness of what my needs are. And when Shane opens the present and tries to act like what I need, we are dying laughing. I'm like, okay, you ready? Opens. As soon as you see it, just start running around the house like you're so excited. And he'll go, oh my God! He'll be doing donuts. And we will be in the floor laughing. And I realize that stupid need that I'm needing is so stupid. But it's what I need. And it's so funny because Kayla and I are just alike. When Kayla opens a gift, she is so dramatic. She's so made over. You can give her, I don't know, a t-shirt, and she's like, oh my gosh, this is what I've always wanted my entire life. I'm like, I really probably, when I'm feeling this need, I probably should buy Kayla a present instead of Shane. Because Shane's going to go, thank you. And Kayla's going to go, front handspring, back handspring, cartwheel, aerial in the front yard. She's going to go ripped up excited because I gave her this t-shirt. Okay. When you realize, when you slow down and realize what your needs are, you're going to die laughing. You really are. When you realize, oh my God, I am so over the top. I'm so over the top. But when you break things down and go, what am I needing? What am I asking Shane to do? Why am I jacked up in my head? What is going on with me? What am I feeling? You're going to realize that the feelings that you're wanting your spouse to do, you're going to have to get that from something else. You might have to give that present to Kayla, or you might have to get Becky, go, hey, Becky, listen, I'm fixing to call you, and you got 30 minutes to tell me how awesome I am, okay? You know, like you're going to have to depend on, like, you see what I'm saying? So I hope that what I said makes sense today. I hope that you can slow down and pause and try to figure out what you're needing and what your spouse is needing, and be strong enough to keep going, meeting their needs, meeting other people's needs. But we go, I'm so tired of meeting everybody's needs and mine never get met. You're going to have to figure out how to have your needs met in other ways. Just like if it's your birthday and you're that girl that needs a birthday present, girlfriend, you gonna have to go out and get yourself a birthday present. So save your money. You know when your birthday is. 6 months out of the year, start saving your money so you can go get a massage and do it for yourself. If you depend on your spouse to do these great things that you're needing, it's not going to happen. So stop depending on other people for your needs. Do it yourself. All right, guys. I got chicken coops to go clean out. Hope I don't get sick. I hope today was a topic you needed to hear. And I just ask that if you do serve God, to please keep my education center in your prayers. I really have got to figure out where I'm going with this, and maybe Shane's stuff in my education center is giving me enough time to figure out what God's purpose is for my education center. So it's slowing me down. So remember, today's Monday and you have choices in life. You can sit it out or you can dance, and I hope you dance. I will see y'all Wednesday. Bye.